As with every new Battlefield release, the fanbase is being completely normal about everything with Battlefield 6. Of course, I'm fucking kidding. We are submerged in a frenzy of takes, arguments, and pitchfork wielding.
They ruined Battlefield!
Personally, I am super excited for the game. There's a lot to love about what we saw in the beta, but with that said, like all of us, I too am sometimes this guy.
Oh, Ghibli good.
Ghibli what?
My top worries for the final release are the class system and the map design philosophy. Again, I want to be clear that I really like the game so far, and there is a lot to love about what we have seen. That being said, the class system absolutely stinks. Class design is always a bit controversial among fans and always changing, but up until 2042, I felt like the class balance improved with every game since Bad Company 1. Battlefield 6's class structure does not make any sense. It's essentially Bad Company 2, except they gave ammo to the medic instead of assault. And this is a classic DICE self-blunder. They could have been lazy about this. They could have just copied Battlefield 5 where it worked, where every class has something to contribute to the team that no other class can. It's not perfect, but for a 4-class system, it's pretty damn close. But no, they had to go and reinvent the wheel, and what we get instead is an assault class that doesn't contribute to their team outside of infantry kills, and a support class that is supposed to simultaneously hold down angles with an LMG and sprint around and revive teammates. If it were up to me, we'd have 5 classes with closed weapons, but let's just start simple here and take a closer look at why the current Battlefield 6 system doesn't work as well as it can. As is in BF6, there is no teamwork based reason to use the assault class, except for access to locked weapons, which is obviously irrelevant because it looks like it's going to be an open weapons system for most game modes at launch. All the assault class gadgets we saw in the beta, from the stim pack to the shotgun to the grenade launcher, are tools to make the class more deadly to infantry, which is obviously important to winning. But a big part of what makes Battlefield specifically fun, as opposed to other FPSs, is the dependence of the classes on each other, on the way they can work together to create a force greater than the sum of their parts and accomplish objectives to win the game. In Battlefield 6, nobody relies on the assault player for anything. There's nothing he provides to his teammates that a different class cannot provide. I'm trying to keep these quick, but we do have to address the shotgun. It's very fun to use, and I actually kind of like it as an assault specialty, but I'm not a fan of it being a gadget from a class balance and Battlefield DNA perspective. Gadgets are kind of supposed to be tools outside of guns. What if instead of replacing a gadget, the shotgun could be a part of the assault class's specialty, that they can have unique secondary weapons instead of a pistol? This allows them to keep the shotgun, but also creates an open gadget slot for something that benefits your team, maybe a motion sensor, AT grenades, vehicle tracer darts, whatever. Assault doesn't need a primary, a shotgun, and a pistol. Even a Bad Company 2 deal where they have the ammo would be better. Engineer is mostly fun as is. It's pretty classic to what we've seen in previous releases, but with how heavily infantry focused all of the maps are so far, even on Conquest, the Engineer needs another dimension beyond vehicle support to be a more valid choice. Ideally, the maps would be a bit more open and vehicle focused, but the maps are for a different video. And also for release, we haven't seen all the maps, we don't know how they're going to play. With that in mind, I would give the NGs carbines as their class weapon instead of SMGs. Carbines fit a nice niche between ARs and SMGs that more closely resembles the type of range an anti-vehicle class is likely to be engaging in. Support needs some work. Having the slow, unwieldy, suppressive fire guns as your weapon for the medic class it's insane. It's absolutely off the wall, batshit insane. It didn't make sense in Bad Company 2, and it doesn't make sense now. The decision to bring this back 15 years later absolutely boggles my fucking mind. The last time we saw this class set up for the medic was before you could even go prone. Running around, reviving and healing friendlies versus posting up somewhere to lay down cover from a big ass machine gun are two polar opposite playstyles. They're not even opposite, they're mutually exclusive. It makes as much sense as putting the engineer or recon class in charge of revives. What happens when you're bipoded up on the perfect angle, you're in a window overlooking the objective with your squad, but a teammate goes down like a few feet over? Do you give up the angle, you get out the paddles and you go revive him? Do you just hold the angle and keep shooting and let him die while he spams the revive button at you? This is my least favorite design decision in the entirety of Battlefield 6 because it takes my two favorite playstyles to play as and combines them into one class in which I can't really play either of them the way I like to. And it actually makes me a little bit real life mad. I'm not even shitting you at how stupid and avoidable this choice was. Recon. Recon's chill. You know, keep hearing you, big guy.